baby. Welcome to the artist. Wait, I don't even know what episode we're on now. It's been a while. How are you? How's your wife? Did you get that thing removed? First, a little update. Didn't do a play of the week this last Friday because my library book didn't come in until like Thursday, so I didn't have time to read it. So this Friday, I'll be covering the first two plays of the Eugene trilogy, Biloxi Blues and Brighton Beach Memoirs. Reverse that. And then yesterday, I had everything set up to record an episode, and I didn't look like myself. I opened up the laptop, turned the camera on. I didn't recognize myself. That's not what I looked like the other 23 years of my life. Well, of course, because for a little while I was in diapers. A long while. I got diapers on now. One diaper. Just one. Anyway, this past weekend I had an audition. Suffice it to say, it did not go well. I go into the room and there's 3 people there. They're all just like, alright, you better not waste my time. And this was an audition that I really cared about, so I put a lot of pressure on myself, and so as soon as I go into the room, I just give away my power. A shallow breath, shaking, actually shaking. There wasn't anything I could do about it. It ended on a somewhat better note. The last thing I had to do was sing, and the song went really well, but I was still trembling, literally trembling. So then when I leave the room, my back seizes up, and I almost buckle to the ground because my lower back, the nerves are shooting because I guess I was just holding my back so much when I was in the room. So that happened. That's not good. On my way home, there was 5 o'clock traffic. I got thinking it would be so easy for this to become my life, and I don't like it. What if all I do is have bad auditions and then drive home in 5 o'clock traffic? What if I just, fall into a job, which would be good, but then what if the job, takes over my life, or I, become complacent and content in that job and find myself just trying to survive and not necessarily trying to live, or those artistic endeavors fall by the wayside and I just find myself in 5 o'clock traffic. The scary thing was how easy it would be to happen, because all it is not taking action. And it's always easier to not take action. So that said, a Bible verse came to my mind. It's one of my favorites, so I wanted to share it. It's from Revelation. Scary stuff. John's writing a letter to 7 different churches in Revelation. This is what John is saying the message God has for the church of Laodicea is. Revelation chapter 3, verse 15 through 16. I know you inside and out and find little to my liking. Here we go. You're not cold. You're not hot. Far better to be either cold or hot. You're stale. Other translations of the Bible say you're lukewarm here. So you're lukewarm. You're stale. You're stagnant. You make me want to vomit. Or other versions say you make me want to spit you out. I love that verse because it talks about, so many times in my life I find I'm lukewarm. Waiting for something to happen. Or I'm hoping something will happen, but I'm not going for it. Or I'm not completely against something. I'm just kind of I don't know. That's not good. That makes me want to vomit. Religion aside, I think that's a great lesson. Not being lukewarm, not being stagnant, not being stale, and fighting for being committed to a cause, being committed to your artistry. Because there's so much rejection, because it's so difficult to be an artist, to live the life of an artist, it's easy to find yourself in complacency, because complacency can be a relief. And sometimes complacency can be necessary, I would assume. But getting stale, getting stagnant, and getting stuck is something I worry about. With that fear of complacency on my mind, I'm realizing that, once August is over, I don't have any scheduled artistic endeavors right now. What am I going to do to keep from becoming lukewarm? I have a project I want to work on. A big project. And I have a couple people that I've reached out to that are willing to work on this with me. I'll share it with you at a later date, once it's more developed. Thursday I'm going to do a discussion that'll go really well with this talk of complacency and commitment to your art. It's going to be tied to something I read that Neil Simon wrote this past week. He didn't write it this past week, I read it this past week. And some of it really hit home with me. I'm going to share it with you. Friday, plays of the weeks. Yeah, that's pretty much it.